Well, it's Saturday the 26th of March. This is episode 2212 of 301 Permanently Moved Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded, and edited by me, at the JMO. In January, I watched the livestream conference Radical Friends DAO Summit for the Decentralization of Power and Resources in the Art World. OG blockchain artist Rhea spoke, and I've been thinking about their talk ever since. She said that one of the best ways to think about DAOs is that they model and incentivize human behavior. They are public, transparent, and rigid, that is to say unyielding and inflexible, way of modeling how we believe people should behave and how we believe they should interact. DAOs are worlds, rigid code spaces made up of people and software. They are total institutions. See episode 1932. Rhea talked about the various problems that arise from modeling a world with code, and they said, they are well understood and well known by people who understand DAOs. There is no simple critique of naive crypto bros to be had. Plenty of people have come into the DAO space, tried something naive, discovered it doesn't work, and then had to read up on mechanism design, on organizational structures, and how you handle bad actors and economically irrational actors, etc. Before I talk about the importance of DAOs and governance as a design space, a little history. The first deep conversation I had about DAOs was in Berlin, 2015. I was over there to run a workshop on infrastructure space at Transmediale Festival. Ethereum mainnet was still 6 months from launch. Vitalik had written about DAOs in the white paper. Virtual entities, he said, that have a certain set of members or shareholders, which, perhaps with a 67% majority, have the right to spend an entity's funds and modify its code. Vitalik also offered the term decentralized autonomous communities. Let's bracket the difference between organizations and communities for another day, but for now, it is my opinion that DAOs have clear, shared, collective goals. DACs are open-ended, concerned with the collective flourishing of their participants. That cold January, we all sat around a huge kitchen table in an Airbnb, dreaming about the possibilities of more advanced blockchains. What does incorporation look like on the blockchain? How does voting work? Are DAOs life forms? Could they be? These were, and are still, important questions. Everybody there was involved in some way with the UnMonastery project, a place-based social laboratory. It explored methods and techniques for living and working together for the benefit of a community. That project opened my eyes to coordination as a design space. Some people in that room went on to become custodians of the emerging planetary scale infrastructure that makes DAOs possible today. In 2015, if you said that your interests were in governance, code spaces, organizational design, and collective decision and meaning-making mechanisms, people would think you mad. DAOs are an opportunity to develop and explore new governance mechanisms. Someone invented the ballot box, after all. But we should be careful with our distinctions. Picking up on the theme of episode 2112, we should make a distinction between governance and the mechanisms of governance, aka coordination. Governance is decisions about the whole, by the whole, that affect the running of the whole. Coordination is the successful running of the whole without affecting the whole's running. The most important essay of the last few years, in my opinion, is Modular Politics towards the governance layer for online communities. From the abstract, classical governance topologies tend to present a choice amongst wholesale ideologies, such as democracy or oligarchy. Modular Politics would enable platform operators and their users to build bottom-up governance processes from their computational components that are modular and composable, highly versatile in their expressiveness, portable from one context to another, and interoperable across platforms. Let's return to Vitalik's example of voting to spend funds or modify code. Is voting a governance mechanism, or is it a coordination mechanism? I'd say, if spending money, it's coordination. If modifying code, governance. Governance is building the machine, coordination is controlling it. Voting is simply a mechanism that enables either. Imagine for a moment that you, I, and others are working on a shared endeavour. You're standing in the street trying to decide what to have for lunch. We vote for sushi. Is this an act of governance? Going further, is voting sushi for lunch an important enough collective decision to enter into an unstoppable, immutable public ledger? I don't think so. It was simply a coordinative act that didn't affect the whole project. Governance is different from coordination, but coordinative mechanisms are required for governance. Enthusiastic DAO participants often confuse the two. 21st century meme culture and real-time chat have combined in DAOs currently to create the rolling AGM as a model participatory form. Endless 24/7 discussions that get transmuted into solemn sacrosanct vows on-chain. A hellish kind of technocratic LARP. Think about the current mechanisms for governance and coordination in the workplace on a platform like Slack. Perhaps a poll, maybe a multi-vote emoji process. Beyond that, there's not much. We need to be imagining swarm consensus architectures, Telegram channels with tens of thousands of people using real-time tools to come to a decision. What modular tools and techniques can be imagined and used elsewhere? It's Web3 that is going to develop these tools, and as soon as these new mechanisms exist, we, the public, are going to demand and expect them in all virtual spaces that we inhabit. Until we have mature digital coordination mechanisms, we won't have mature digital collective governance.